bad. It's going to cause some harmful effect. But one of the things that I learned when I worked offshore California, I worked in the oil industry for 23 years, and I thought I could see up there environmentalists. California required us to put our wastewater back down into wells. Okay, that practice is not done in the Gulf because it's considered too expensive. All companies don't want to buy the machinery, the compressors and things to put it back. Now, it only makes sense to me that you burn all this waste and stop filling landfills. But those emissions can be put back down 2,000 feet below the earth, you know, and it has its way of cleaning those things back up. So that's what they're getting around. They're not telling you that they want to, it's cheaper, it's easier to let those gases go into the atmosphere. And that's what's causing our greenhouse gas effect. So what I said to you is rather than fight this type of thing, then just make them do the right thing. Don't release it to the atmosphere and put it back down.
Oh no, I'm going to fight it. They can put it someplace else. You know, why does it have to come to us? But I disagree with you that it makes sense to burn it because I've learned a lot more. Because if we're talking about becoming sustainable, you know, you're not giving people any incentive to change the way we do things if you could just burn it up. What I've also learned is that this process burns up everything and it creates an ash, but it makes it the ash extremely fine. And in fact, we're now dealing with nano particles. Nanoparticles are actually worse because they're so tiny that we're breathing them in. And it's creating particulate matter that's killing hundreds of thousands of people. What, you know, we are proposing, and we can't seem to get on board with moving to more sustainable kinds of processes, reducing our waste stream so that we don't create these huge landfills. That's where we need to go in order to ward off climate change. And so instead, and the other thing that I didn't, because there's a lot more to this, the cost to the communities will be astronomical. That's the other part that they're not telling us. Because if the city will have to sign, they gave the city contracts, they have to sign like a 30 or 60-year contract where all of our waste will go to them. And they've already shown it as the cost rises, because we signed these contracts, the city then has to pay for this waste, and it's been astronomical. So communities have already almost gone bankrupt. So I would not, let me finish, I would not encourage us moving to this particular method for dealing with garbage. There are many more processes that we could address that are less costly and more sustainable. So we're moving into something that's extremely costly. You know, it's really not going to help us with climate change. Now we'll have even more health effects. So it's been untested, all of these things, and they want to put it in our neighborhoods again where we already have a lot of stuff.
The problem, let me just piggyback. The problem with your argument or your expose is that it can be fixed. And what we're saying is that all of the data shows that whether you're talking about burning is bad, period. Burning it is bad, period, because it's the same as, and calling it green. Let's be for real. You calling it green to sell it, but when you talk about the residuals that's coming out of the smokestack, or whether it's in terms of the problem with the waste, how you're getting the waste to the place, it just doesn't drop out the sky. It's going to be transported. So the fact is that there's no incentive to reduce the amount of waste minimization. That's a problem there. So we can just still produce the waste, and then because we can burn it, that's the easy way out.
Well,
and it's being so.
It's the oldest way.
It's the oldest way. It's old technology.
People in the country do.
Yeah.
They burn their garbage.
It's old technology, and I think we were talking about moving to cleaner, greener, and making sure that the cost, the total cost, are factored into it. And in terms of where these facilities are, because it's not going into River Oaks or going into Beverly Hills or going into wherever, it's going into those places where people are saying, well, the costs have to be borne by those people who can lease it for it. That's the equity issue that I
The
think.
thing
that-
you're missing is the point that I'm saying. It
No,
should
I
be
have your
injected
point.
As opposed to releasing to the atmosphere. I mean, it's the same thing.
That's the
we talk
fix.
about.
That's the fix that I'm saying. That's the foot in the door and the camel's nose in the tent. Where we as black people, I think would be adamantly against that because it's coming our way.
Well, there's one other thing that we did.
The same as biomass. The same as biomass being sold as green.
I agree.
And when you look at, as it being sold, if everything being equal, then again, if it's so great, then why aren't you having these very rich communities bidding for it like they're doing for wind and solar? That's the issue, I think, the equity issue that we have to level out and
Well,
tease out.
This plant went to Jefferson Parish first, selling it as, this wonderful process. And Jefferson Parish looked at it and said no. Then they came to Orleans Parish. And now they're trying to go to St. Charles Parish, all of these other. But there's one other thing, and I'm going to send a YouTube video from this professor. Have you seen? We just sent it. And he's a scientist who's been looking at this for a very long time. They don't talk at all about the ash. It's still going to leave ash. So then this ash also has to be transported. So how is that different from a landfill in terms of its, I might rather live with birds flying around and all of this. I don't know. I don't see how it's actually better. But because they can say that they're going to produce electricity, that's how they're being able to get this on the radio, like nuclear, saying that they're green. Because they're going to be producing electricity, they're saying that they're going to be able to make certain products out of this ash. Products we haven't seen yet, and products that they can't even describe. So my thing is, it's too risky and it's too new to put it where we live. It should, if in fact you're interested in it, it should still be in the laboratory with them trying to work out all of the problems. And I don't
I'm
see
saying
that.
to you, they
I just-
injected that back feet, 1,000 feet below the
Let's
earth.
go to something
They
else.
wouldn't come to
Let's
our
go to
neighborhood.
somebody else.
Go ahead.
Because, yeah,